Folks, I think I share Bala's sentiment on this past weekend, actually the past couple of weeks, and something that's been ongoing for quite some time in the Fortnite competitive scene, that being teaming, colluding, breaking the rules, cheating, whatever which way you want to put it. And this past weekend really put into perspective the lack of maturity, responsibility, even sometimes respect inside the Fortnite scene. And for the future of it, some things just certainly need to change. We talked about in multiple videos now. First of all, Unknown Army, not only him using his chat to try and find a kill as well, clearly breaking the rules. We talked about Mongrel and Benji Fishy, who also have past accusations, they too themselves using their stream chat to find a player location and then kill that said player. What we did not mention is actually a fourth player already from this past weekend alone, that being amidst other accusations. I can't even cover every single story or accusation of some sort of Fortnite pro or streamer actually stream sniping or using chat or breaking the rules altogether. The last one we'll talk about, that being Assault, who very blatantly used a teammate's information who was stream sniping directly another team as well, giving direct information about, the amount of supplies they had or the amount of resources they had and the number of wood, which, directly actually incriminated him. When you say 76 wood, you cut to the team he's talking about and one of those members has 76 wood. It's pretty exact and a pretty clear example of stream sniping, and yet again, a fourth pro player that we know of breaking the rules during a huge event.
Zone. It was the Aegis that died, and it was alive, and he's tagged.
Okay.
Actually, never mind, he's Shambles, 76 wood.
Where did he land?
He was right behind you. He just padded. He padded onto the mountain and just short padded on your head.
And I think some of the worst parts about this is the tons and tons of fans and viewers of these pros actually defending their actions as if it's not unfair, as if it's not cheating or breaking the rules, which really goes to show how young this competitive scene is compared to other scenes. I talk about it a lot. I understand where a lot of these pros are coming from, because if I was 14, 15, whatever years old, very young, coming up in this scene that kind of lacks a competitive nature and regulations, because Epic Games really steps in only on these really weird examples. Even when they do step in, it's really a hit or miss kind of thing. And again, if it's also going to be so much money on the line, are you going to risk it from time to time, either using your stream chat or stream sniping, doing things that most pros probably aren't caught for? Yeah, you probably will. It doesn't make it okay though, and certainly when it does happen and it does get caught, I'm going to keep on calling it out. Speaking of other call outs out there, somewhat of a Fortnite pro, I think maybe the title's a bit unfair. This is about one individual Fortnite pro out there, certainly not encompassing the entire scene, but certainly should also be talked about. That's going to be a guy like Zane, who took to use some homophobic comments on Twitter this past weekend, which were just far and beyond. If you guys did not see the thread, it was actually started by Clicks. He was asking people what is meant when people say I'm Kanada. If you guys had not seen, many streamers like Unknown Army were using that term of I'm kind of Kanada, I'm Kanada. People actually thought it was referring to I'm gay. It actually means that you're just not good at the game, and so pros were apparently using that term time and time again. It was in that same thread though that Zane replies to Clay, who, by the way, actually is gay. His sexuality does not matter in the fact, if you are anyone out there, you should not be talking to anyone with these words, but especially a matter of the fact, as you are a Fortnite pro player and representing a gigantic portion of an audience out there, to talk like this and reply with these words to someone who also ends up to be gay is one of the most disrespectful things I have seen in quite some time, and it's despicable. And I think when it comes time for Fortnite in general, lacking a governing body to try and avoid these kind of things, we also have surrounding pro players who are friends with a guy like Zane and certainly do kind of fuel the fire of this kind of toxic act. I just can't imagine being a pro player out there and typing this kind of response, and certainly something deserves to be done about this. Just incredibly disrespectful and incredibly stupid. Haven't seen something like that in quite some time. I started the video by saying I think Bala's sentiment about this certainly hits a chord. The future of the Fortnite competitive scene not only relies a lot on Epic Games and of course the money they use to fuel this scene, but of course the rule set they use to enforce as well. We called out 4 Fortnite pros last week, and they all were actually given 60-day bans. At least the same amount have now been accused this past weekend. As of me recording this, no bans have been issued, but certainly if Epic Games wants to do something about about this and they want to correct their scene for the future to be an actual competitive esport, something has to be done. I don't care how many viewers or how big of audiences these top players have or these top streamers have. They deserve to be punished, whether it's lenient, whether it's hardcore, or whether it's changing the rule book to not allow these guys. They were all using outside information. They were using their streamer chats, they were stream sniping, whatever it might be. Unfair advantages where competitively this would not fly in any other esport and should not fly in Fortnite. So a rule change is certainly needed, and I think punishments are at hand as well. Will those punishments happen? I really don't think so, but I think certainly a few of these Fortnite pros deserve that, just to check, you know, just a little bit of a face check so you don't do this in the future. And I don't know. I feel like some people out there cannot be talked over, but you do this in any other esports scene, you would be facing a punishment, if not a pretty hefty one. Until next time, hope you guys all enjoy. Just sad stuff from Fortnite this past weekend. Hopefully they'll continue to grow up and actually see these actions and hopefully learn from them as well. Until next time, take care. I'll see you guys all back here sometime soon.